Where does Kriya Pranayama truly belong on the path to Samadhi? Unlock the secret to demystifying Kriya Yoga and accelerate your spiritual progress by connecting the practice to the timeless wisdom of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. Too often, Kriya Yoga is taught as a series of steps to be followed without the necessary context, leaving students unsure about their progress or what happens during deep meditation. Patanjali's Yoga Sutras provide a critical roadmap that clarifies the subtle stages of meditation. When you connect the precise actions of Kriya Pranayama to Patanjali's progression from pratyahara, sense withdrawal, through to samadhi, superconscious awareness, the entire practice clicks into place. By revealing the simple mechanics of Kriya and connecting them step by step to Patanjali's wisdom, it demystifies the Kriya Yoga path, empowering you to move beyond rote repetition in your practice and accelerates your spiritual progress. The core concept uniting technique and philosophy in a system like yoga is that the philosophy provides the why, the ultimate goal, the metaphysical understanding of reality, and the ethical framework, while the technique provides the how, the practical, the systematic methods for achieving that goal. In many classical philosophical systems, the theory can remain abstract. Yoga, particularly in its practical forms like Kriya Yoga, insists on experiential verification. The philosophy, example, the concepts of Purusha, consciousness, and Prakriti, nature, explains what the practitioner is trying to attain, for example, liberation. The techniques related to asana, postures, pranayama, breathing, and dhyana, meditation techniques are the direct tools designed to alter consciousness, to realize that philosophical truth firsthand. Without the technique, the philosophy is just intellectual speculation. Without the philosophy, the technique lacks direction and ultimate purpose. They are two sides of the same coin. Theory illuminates practice, and practice validates theory. The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali are regarded as an authoritative, systematic manual for the practice of Raja Yoga, the royal yoga, which encompasses the meditative journey. The text is structured as a comprehensive guide, laying out the terrain of consciousness from its agitated state to its stillness. It begins by defining the goal, yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is the cessation of the fluctuations of the mind. It then presents Ashtanga, the 8 limbs, as a necessary progression. Yama and Niyama, the moral do's and don'ts. Asana, suitable posture for meditation. Pranayama, life force control. Followed by Pratyahara, internalization. Dharana, concentration. Dhyana, absorption. And Samadhi, superconscious awareness. The later chapters in the Yoga Sutras, particularly the sections on samyama, which is a combination of dharana, dhyana, and samadhi, provide the specific how-to for profound meditation. It also describes the state of samadhi and the siddhis, the powers that may arise along the way. Therefore, the Yoga Sutras are not just a philosophy, they are a step-by-step guide for navigating the inner landscape toward liberation. Kriya Yoga is often characterized as an accelerated or scientific path to self-realization. The acceleration comes from the specific powerful pranayama techniques that directly influence the prana, the life force, and the subtle energy channels, the nadis. Other traditional paths might emphasize years of ethical living before deep meditation is feasible. Kriya Yoga techniques systematically calm the body and the mind quickly, thus allowing the practitioner to bypass the subtle resistance and reach higher states of meditation in a fraction of the time. Kriya Yoga is often described as scientific. The scientific label stems from its emphasis on observable, repeatable results tied to physiological and cognitive changes. The techniques involve conscious control over the breath and energy centers, the chakras, to induce specific internal states. It operates on the principle that the body and mind are the physical instruments that can be systematically conditioned. Instead of relying on blind faith, Kriya Yoga provides a method where the internal energy, the prana, can be directly managed. This leads to measurable shifts in consciousness, a process that is, in principle, empirically verifiable by the practitioner through inner experiences. In demystifying Kriya Pranayama, there are 2 questions we need to ask. Number 1, How does Kriya Pranayama relate to Patanjali's Yoga Sutras and the stages of meditation? Question number 2, is Kriya Pranayama a breathing technique or an advanced meditation stage? Now, pranayama, as taught in Western-influenced yoga, is often translated as breath control. However, prana actually means life force, not breath, and yama means control or restraint. Pranayama, then, is control over the life force, which in Kriya Yoga is done initially through intentional breathing. The effects of Kriya Pranayama go far beyond the typical breathing exercises taught in popular yoga. Pranayama isn't just about breath. The breath is only a vehicle used to consciously draw the life force, the prana, into the chakras, subtle energy centers, and into the Sushumna Nadi, the central channel. Kriya Pranayama is a psychophysiological regulator. Its true role is to rapidly induce the meditative states associated with the higher limbs of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. Kriya Pranayama rapidly induces pratyahara, sense withdrawal. Traditional meditation requires lengthy effort to withdraw the attention from the 5 senses. By internally directing the awareness of prana in the chakras, subtle energy centers, Kriya Pranayama accomplishes this withdrawal rapidly, bringing the student's awareness beyond the body and the breath. Modern science offers a parallel understanding. Kriya Pranayama strongly influences the vagus nerve and activates the parasympathetic nervous system. This rapid shift is the mechanical cause of the profound calm, stillness, and heart rate reduction that Kriya yogis experience, the perfect environment for meditation. As such, Kriya Yoga is a powerful bridge to dhyana, absorption. The stillness it creates and the subtle inner perceptions are the entry points into deep meditation. Patanjali's model of Ashtanga Yoga provides an excellent framework for understanding Kriya Yoga. Kriya Pranayama fulfills and accelerates the requirements of the first 4 limbs of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, yama, niyama, asana, and pranayama, and results in the 5th limb, pratyahara, internalization. There are some who claim that Kriya Pranayama is a form of dharana, of concentration, the 5th limb of Patanjali's sutras. For example, some say that the focus on the spine is the perfect single-pointed concentration object. But this single-pointed concentration is not the way that Kriya Yoga works at all. What dharana really means in the context of Kriya Yoga is an internalized concentration which follows from pratyahara, the process of internalization. Without the withdrawal of the attention from the senses through Kriya Pranayama, there is no true dharana. So concentration on the spine is not dharana. What dharana actually feels like is an internalized void where one is barely aware of the senses. The body has disappeared from one's awareness, the mind becomes very still, and the breath has disappeared. This latter effect is what Yogi Raj Lahiri Baba, the originator of Kriya Yoga, called the tranquil breath, and which some have called the breathless state. This is the domain of what the great master called paravasta, the after-effect state of Kriya. This is true dharana and leads into dhyana, absorption, and into samadhi, superconscious awareness. In summary, Kriya Pranayama is essentially a turbocharged method for rapidly moving into deep meditation without having to engage in years of preliminary practices. Kriya Pranayama provides observable, repeatable results that make it ideal for today's world. Kriya Pranayama is best understood in the context of the meditative progression outlined in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. Kriya Pranayama results in pratyahara, internalization or sense withdrawal. Pratyahara then results in dharana, internalized concentration, where body, breath, and mind are calm. Dharana results in deepening meditative absorption, dhyana, and dhyana leads to superconscious awareness, samadhi. By following this inner progression in meditation, the Kriya Yogi transcends the limitations of body-based perception and enters into the pathway to awakening and spiritual liberation. So if you have any questions about this video, feel free to send me an email at info@modernkriya.com. Also check our website at modernkriya.com and our YouTube channel. So thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time.